Nest and on edge. Desperado, you have the floor.
Yes, I will be playing assistant GM tonight, as well as Bishojo. So,
Not for the whole night, just until I've got the 3 character sheets I need up and running.
all right. So we have Okami, Bones, Cage, Thrax, and Katya, who are all on the mission with the Battle Ballers. And Hamlin, through Orchid, has asked them all to gather at the location where the Blackberry Cat was last spotted. Bishojo was called by Orchid so that she could have a little extra firepower along just in case. In fact, I will go ahead and read the message because Kara cannot. Okay, Battle Bunny, I have a job. Real simple, real easy. Makes use of your better qualities. How much would it cost to hire you for the night? Not like that. I mean, like to play bodyguard and back up in intimidation. And Bishojo's reply would be, depends on how hard the job is. Just standing around looking tough? Few hundred million. Getting shot at? That costs more. And Orchid's reply is, oh, okay, all right, so we'll chalk it down to a few hundred for now with promise of more should any headache arise. That cool? Bishojo would have, yes, that sounds good. You know, I mean, if this is just a babysitting job, 500, it would be plenty. If it turns out to be more, well, we'll negotiate that if we all live.
Yeah, I think it's fine for me to do for free, so long as I can maybe bring dogs. They need to get out more.
I don't think you were being hired. You were being told to come as a second source of information.
Okay, that's fine too. As long as I can bring doggies to let them out. They
Well,
need to
you
do
brought
their.
them last
They
time,
need to
so-
get movement.
Well, and that's just it. The park is now officially no longer under magical quarantine. The London PD have lifted the ward, and the park is now open once again and officially not magically monitored.
So will Hamlin be coming with us as well?
No, Hamlin was not able to come personally. He did not give a very convincing reason to Orchid, so Orchid will have to give her own explanation for why he isn't coming. The park is still a public park. Orchid, I imagine you'd be doing this at night to accommodate Thrax's Phobos. Sure, that's why. So at night, bear in mind that it's a public park. If you want to risk it, you could bring equipment, but you aren't expecting any trouble. Well, I shouldn't say that. You get to decide whether or not you expect any trouble. A reasonably minded individual wouldn't, but you're not reasonably minded individuals. You're Shadowrunners. Paranoia tends to come with the job.
Still, you probably won't be, walking with assault cannons or anything, unless you're like Bishojo and just don't care.
And just a quick question to Cage and Bones. Did we have a picture for Goliath?
I mean, I can find you one. Just a sec. Let me scroll up.
That sounds good to me. Thanks. You find the picture, and once you share it, Andre can choose the border color.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go roll intuition and say if I roll well, Frax kind of I have there's something in the air tonight. I'm gonna bring the sword, and or basically a feeling that Ares wants me to bring the sword, and if low intuition, then he won't bring his sword.
Go ahead and roll that as magic plus intuition to see if it's like a guiding spiritual force for you.
Okie doke. Nah, he's gonna leave the sword at home. He's just gonna walk the dogs. It's gonna be a nice night to walk the dogs.
All right. What about Okami and Katya?
Katya has no weapons, but she is going with her full set of armor.
And I guess Bones as well. Bones didn't pipe up.
Oh, but Katya's armor currently looks... I'm going to cast Fashion on my armor.
Bear in mind, that doesn't change the appearance. That literally changes the clothing.
In that case, she's not going to cast Fashion on the armor. She's going to... Yeah.
I guess you could use your pocket spell to hide it, and then just pop it back out when she needs it.
Going through all of my list of characters, I realized that the one that I had thought for him would be full battle armor. So I don't have one with an actual face for him at the moment, unless I can find ones further down.
Does Orchid normally carry weapons, or does she just rely on her hacking and magic abilities? I figured as much. So Orchid really doesn't have anything she needs to worry about. Thrax will leave the sword and shield at home. Cage will similarly leave the full auto grenade launcher, or the grenade launcher and body armor at home.
What was the race of Goliath? It was ogre.
I don't have that recorded, but I think it was actually your friendly contact who was the ogre.
Goliath. Let's see what I can find about him. Because there's Jacob Jack Lantern and then Audrey Bell. Audrey Bell is working at the hospital Dante worked at. Jacob Jack Lantern.
Yes, I think it's Jack Lantern who was the ogre.
Yeah. Okay. So this
I
is.
think Goliath was actually a one of those an ironic name, and I think he was like a dwarf.
I believe we did discuss about that.
We did. It would have been in our private conversation if I could scroll high enough up, but unfortunately.
You can actually retrieve, as long as you have TeamSpeak's logging activated, it'll save it to a automated directory that...
Jacob Jack Lantern Lumiere is a dwarf.
Oh, okay, so it's the other way
Yes,
around.
I got that. Let's see if I can find the other one. I think he's an orc for him, or at least if would they have been an orc?
And if an orc, why not an ogre?
Sure. Ogre it is.
Any complaints or concerns with that, Andre?
Nope.
So, Desperado, do you remember the description of the ruins well enough to describe them again now?
I don't think so. I mean, I remember chunks of it. It's a old church, if I remember
Yep.
correctly.
Yep.
Its roof's long gone. It's falling down in chunks. Yeah. There's probably still a big hole in the floor for, because I doubt anybody's patched it.
Well, you're not close to the hole just yet, but
But yes.
probably a safe assessment.
Well, from the outside, it's a ruined church. Stone, but obviously has not been used in many decades.
And Twister, have you played Shadowrun Returns?
Nope. Nope.
Because the character you linked is like the first recurring NPC that you meet.
Good to know.
Oh yeah, I remember. He's great.
So Andre, which color border for Goliath?
Yellow.
I swear that sounded like you just shouted YOLO.
His name is Gabriel, honestly. Goliath is his title.
I gotta say that I'm an idiot sometimes. Just a sec, my wife's here.
What do you mean sometimes?
This is the first player death in a while, apparently.
Got a bit of a plumbing emergency, so have some fun role playing. I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
The joys of real life intruding upon games.
All right. Well, you'll
I hope
find.
everything is okay, Bubba.
You'll find Frax not wearing his helmet, but just wearing a pair of kind of glasses, sunglasses, out in front of the church, kind of, urging his dogs to go out for a walk and such. He might be seem to be throwing a bone up ahead and such. Ah, hello there. Good. Is good night. Yes.
User disconnected from your channel.
Goodbye, V2. Bubbo. Goodbye, Bubbo.
So who is that comment directed at, Thrax?
Whoever approaches first.
What was the comment again?
Ah, hello there. Is good night for walk. Yes. Hello.
We can say that Katya's probably going there first.
Wait, the wild animal who's never lived in society and has had bad experiences with it wants to go out to the park before everybody else does?
Yeah. Park, the closest she can get to nature right now.
Old white cat. I think you are shit.
She's not a cat.
Oh, she just goes in her elven form, alright.
Although,
Yeah.
obviously, if you look at Demos's eyes, that won't be what he sees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't constantly do that, so...
However, she's definitely keeping a wary eye on the dogs. Yes, it is very nice. He just takes a deep breath and relaxes.
Yeah, I think Katja might notice that the dogs would kind of definitely pay attention to her and kind of begin to circle around her.
She'll notice, definitely. She's paying attention to them.
And yeah, Frax would be pretty quick like, no, we no hunt now. You played, then we can hunt maybe later. I think there's some animals around here, yes?
Maybe closer than we would expect.
Yes, but they need to be big to actually provide a good meal. Also not to, what do you have around here a lot? All the pollution, you get chemical infection and is very tasteless. You will get bad stomachache if you eat that.
Very true.
Well, is a real shame what they did with the river and all that. Though, big Bosporus around Constantinople not much better.
I'll have Bashojo come in at this point and go, it's been a long time since the Thames has ever been clean. I mean, hell, London was polluted back before they had electricity.
Most of the world was.
Yeah, but I mean, this one, even back then, let me put it like this. You wouldn't have wanted to drink the from that river even 200 years ago. But, you know, it's a town, it's a city.
Honestly, I'm not deep into history, never learned from books and all that or data pads or things. But I think Constantinople has been big city with lots of pollution for a long time as well.
Oh yes, wherever people go, there's pollution follows quickly.
True,
So-
that's why there's nice places in Greece and a little bit around Caucasus Mountains is good. Those are
Well, if you
still
guys,
not so violent.
if you guys are craving actual nature, I mean, you know, once you get out past London, there is still plenty of more out there.
Oh yes, I count on that. I count on maybe hunting sometime later.
Yes, this is the
So
closest Katja looks
So is
around
Orchid
and says,
Sigh indicate she shows up around now? Also, Bones and Cage have not jumped in yet.
I actually very specifically messaged Andre when he'd like to show up in that. But I don't know if
Yeah,
he's back yet.
I still muted.
We're not.
Yeah, Katya is going to look around and says, "This is the closest I've been with nature since I left home."
Really, where is your home then, originally? I'm from Turkey. Well, I like to think I am son of the county of Thrace. I think that's best thought of it.
I think it is best if I do not answer where I'm from.
Is it Islamic States?
No. Or somewhere around Russia. Let me answer with that.
Oh, there's Russias there's Russias in Black Sea. I've no big problem with Russias.
Yes, but I do have a problem with answering where it's best if I keep past secret for all.
Orchid's comment, is it from Thievesville like the others? I'm not sure whether that was directed at Katya or Brax.
Katya's gonna tilt her head and go, Thief? Where's that?
Thievesville, Thievesville. I do not think I know Thievesville. There's a lot of thieves and smuggling, I know, but a town of thieves I do not know.
Yeah, she gets a little bit of a glare with the mention of smuggling. She definitely doesn't like that idea.
I am going to roll intuition to see if Frax picks up on that.
I
Or
think
should I
that'd be
roll
judge
judge
intentions.
intentions?
Yeah, that would
It would
definitely
be judge
be
intentions.
a Orchid.
say
It's
2
all
hits.
over. Just ask the big guy. Thumbs over to Thrax. He was part of the crew that took things from our employer or mutual friend, whatever helps you sleep.
Nope, goes over
Yeah,
his head.
you don't notice.
So at about this time,
I
you want us to
believe
join
I
him?
was also on that job. Orchid.
Also, by the way, Orchid and Ephron, just so you know, Frax isn't that big.
Well, compared to Orchid, any orc's going to be big. Shoujo is big compared to Orchid.
Yeah, I think in her elf form, Katya is only about 5'8".
Yeah, and Frax is 5'9".
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's-
he's kind of
how
a
much
short
does
I'm
he
not
weigh?
a bird.
How
I'm
much
not
does
a
he weigh?
bird.
He weighs 90 kilos.
Okay. Two of my characters are taller and weigh less.
I would prefer if
Yeah,
you
well,
don't-
orcs are pretty chunky for their
Yeah, he is a
height.
very muscled motherfucker. But he isn't very tall.
Orchid, all right, I forgot. Oh, right, I forgot. Guess that's my fault for forgetting to remember a light-fingered finch. I won't make the same mistake again around such magpies.
I would prefer if you
Shoujo
don't
looks
refer
at
to me
an Orchid
as-
and goes, wait, what's going on here?
Birds are actually more gatherers. They don't really steal all that much unless you leave it very unattended. I mean, you cannot blame birds. They do not understand ownership.
Whose side are you on?
I do not know. I'm just commenting. On nature. I know a lot of birds. If it gets to a fight, I still think I will side with elf woman. She's bigger.
Well, I would prefer if you stop calling me things like birds. I'm not a bird. And we didn't steal it ourselves. We were paid for it with them. And most of them weren't exactly stolen, if I was told correctly by my friend Ace.
I am very confused now. I is just talking about birds.
He's referring to me as a bird. A finch and a magpie.
Oh, I know. Is British slang like fancy bird? Yes. Oh, that bird is hot. She is a fine
Orchid's
bird.
reply to that is, let's go with that.
So yes,
So
it
anyway.
wasn't our fault that we were handed stolen goods. We'd already been handed it. We'd already been paid with it before we found out they were stolen.
Orchid. Well, I didn't come here to discuss the finer points of thievery. I came here because the boss asked me to. Does Orchid actually make the air quotes to go along with that asked?
Is
So, yeah.
something wrong
Shit.
with the dapper orc fellow?
Gotcha, nods. And I was asked to come here in Ace's stead. He's a little busy and dealing with other things.
Nothing is wrong with him. I'm sorry, correction. There is nothing new wrong with him, no. Does Orchid respect anybody?
I'm sure she might also, out of character, I'm sure she might also respect Heinrich if she ever met him. Until she finds out he's crazy.
Prodigy gets no respect. He's a teenager. If we give a teenager respect, well, they'll mess up their whole puberty bit.
So at some point during all this, Bones and Cage have walked up and probably have been keeping their mouths shut because, well, they're not crazy.
Well, I mean, I had my mouth open about 5-6 times, but nobody heard me, I guess.
I guess. What were you going to say?
I don't remember any individual comment.
Okay.
But Andre commented on it. I remember at one point during the point where Katya did not want to reveal where she came from. But anyways, Bones raises a hand and says hello, and then holds it out for Shoujo, and introduces himself and Cage.
Bishojo would transition her rifle offhand and shake it. Introduce herself briefly. What are we here for, Miss Smarty Pants?
Nice to see you again, Child of Poseidon and Sexy Man.
I have
But-
no idea what it means, says Bishojo, but I like it anyway.
I mean, at this point, is there a difference in aura? There's a definite difference in aura. Bishojo's apparently like really attractive, and Bones is very much a calming feeling. So that's, I guess, the difference between the two characters at this point in time. So you wouldn't think he's extremely attractive. You'd think that he's extremely. It's easy to just be in his presence. It's a common thing.
And Katya will walk over and be like, I realize I haven't met either of you. I haven't met you before. I'm Katya. And she puts her hand out to shake with Bishojo's.
So yeah, again, Bishojo would shake and, you know, just explain that she's worked with Thrax and Orchid before, so I'm basically here to keep you lot out of trouble, just in case there is any. Not that this place looks like it's much of anything right now.
And then Katya looks down at Orchid and goes, and we haven't been formally met either. And she extends her hands. I'm Katya.
And it looks like while this is going on, Cage walks over to Thrax and offers his hand. So yes, Orchid's formal introduction to Kia is Orchid, as she offers her hand, representative currently of Hamlin.
I am Katya, representative of Ace.
Now, Bones. I represent myself in this endeavor.
I am Thrix, and I am champion of Ares.
And she looks at Bones.
Yep.
She's like, I remember you. You were
Mister,
there at
that's a lie.
the bar.
You represent both you and Cage, because you're the talker.
Yeah, but you're here, so I can't. It didn't feel right to say that. It didn't feel right to say that at all.
By the way, you talked.
You're right there.
I have been talking for a little.
You've been muted for most of it though, because I've only heard
Yeah,
like
I
very
know.
few minute comments. Okay.
There are children.
Tell them to go away.
I can't.
Do you want to put on speakerphone and then I can tell him to go away?
Lock up your children.
I don't want to know what that's from. So as all the introductions are being finished, Bones is going to nod towards the church and be like, "That's the location, correct?" And then start walking towards them.
So what are we doing here?
A simple investigation.
You should be careful with floors. Last time, I think someone fell through it.
I'll keep my eye out, he says as he's continuing to walk away, with nobody apparently following. There we go, Cat is here.
And again, I ask, what are we investigating?
Did you not get a... debrief isn't an appropriate term.
I was
You didn't get
asked to be
briefed?
here by someone who was briefed. But I wasn't given the briefing.
Information from left hand to right isn't the most easily done. It's my understanding
Yes,
of
the
what's
person
happening
who
here.
asked me.
It's my understanding of what's happened here is they encountered the dapper dork Hamlin investigating some kind of cult, and they're trying to find a BlackBerry that saw something related to the investigation that produced a not a hologram. It's the magical version of a hologram. Do you know?
An illusion? And at this point, Katya's going over her, which would it be? Magical theory or magical threats? For Blackberry.
Theory. Threats for blackberries, I guess.
For a black bear cat, it would definitely be threat if you don't have something like paranormal animals specifically.
Yeah. Theory would probably be if you're trying to like think about how a spell could have been done, or something.
He does not know what that is. What do you mean, Blackberry? Is that like a phone?
Say magical kit.
Or is that a fruit?
It's a
Would
magical kit.
parazoology be applicable here?
That
And,
would be the skill.
Yep.
Katya looks at. You're not talking about.
You cut out.
Bones
All I
knows
heard was you're not talking about, and then a giggle. That's all. I'll be honest with you. That's all I heard.
Bones knows what she is, so she looks at Bones and whispers across to him, "You're not talking about me, right?"
Oh, he'll chuckle for a moment and say a different kind of magical cat. Do I have it? I don't.
Okay, to catch up here, Thrax, yeah, 2 hits, you know what a black on parazoology, you know what a black bear cat is. And yeah, Cage and Orchid have been chatting back and forth, but Orchid explains that the cat that we're looking for, it's very important to her boss's research. And Cage, well, then I will try my very best to help, and catches up with Bones. So I guess at this point, everybody's walking towards the church where we last saw it. And also, Orchid has made clear that we are to look, not touch.
Yeah.
Is good for me. Last time when Athena tried to touch Demon, well, it turned out to be illusion and she punched the wall.
Must have hurt her hand.
No, I think she just hurt wall.
Katya's gonna take a look around and actively sense. Because
Alright,
dual
then.
natured.
Yep. Orchid could give an sensing roll if she wanted. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think this is where we need to get VT back involved to see what sensed.
Oh, and that's right. The moment Orchid does a sensing, whoops, magical kitty.
Yeah.
Drax still has no clue. Drax has stated he hasn't looked through his dog's eyes, though.
No, he hasn't, and he still has not done so.
There's the vilest of terrors. Okay, who will not be back for a while, but okay, so basically, because Phobos and Deimos are dual-natured, they know. And because they know, even if Thrax hasn't intentionally looked through their eyes, he is aware of what they know.
That's true.
Okay, which
Well,
means
it
yeah,
would
just
only
Deimos,
be what
excuse me.
Deimos knows, because Phobos is not dual-natured, actually.
Okay, so yes, you were correct, and VT was just correcting me on that as well. But yeah, but basically, since Deimos knows what Katya is, Thrax knows, even if he hasn't specifically looked, because Deimos can't help but look.
So then, when she made the crack about maybe closer than we might think, he probably understood what she meant.
Possible.
And
Of course,
he
this
would
is
also
also
know why his
Thrax,
dogs
so
are-
would Thrax consider a shifter an animal or a person?
That would be tricky. I think an animal, though, for him, the difference between animal and person is actually very small. Like, he considers his dogs are not his pets, they are his battle brothers.
And in that case, he also would realize that his dogs were trying to hunt Katya.
Yep.
All right, so on 6 hits, Katya, everything looks normal right now, but there definitely was a ley line here at one point. It's been tapped and drained. Beyond that, somebody would need a magical theory roll to know any more about it.
Should I give one?
If you've got magical theory, yeah, go ahead.
I got magic traditions, magical theory, and magical threats.
This would be a magic theory, specifically, because it's something about the ley line itself.
No, she has no clue either. Well, the ley line's drained. Apparently. Don't see any magic.
On the plus side, though, it didn't leave like a mana void or anything. It's just not here anymore. So we just reduced, gone back to the background. And to answer Cage's question, I don't have access to your character sheet or your background info, so I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll have to PM me some details. As for
and
Orchid, active sensing on 3 hits, pretty much it's the same. I'm gonna say that you can also make that that knowledge check though, if you've got magic theory, which I assume you do.
Oh, and you might want to move up, Bishoujo.
Oh, she'd be following along. Basically, Orchid hired her to be bodyguard, so she's pretty much wherever Orchid is. So VT directly answered Cage, and all right. And Orchid's not even going to try the knowledge roll. All right. So yeah, you can all continue on your way then, or we can rather, since I am now apparently just gone from assistant GM to head GM. Yeah, VT's not going to be back for a while. Whatever happened is fun.
An issue. Okay. Well then, assuming I'm still ahead a little bit, I'm going to definitely walk along the path and sense from afar. Do you have the answer to what the sensing was?
For Bones, I didn't see the roll. Sorry.
Sorry for Katya, but because I'm not going to bother because I
Yeah,
realized
like,
that.
like I said, Katya saw that this place used to have a ley line.
Oh, yeah,
It's
so
not here anymore. Somebody captain drained a ley line that used to be here. That's not nothing, to say the least. But it also, there's no mana voids. Nothing looks dangerous. It looks pretty peaceful for now.
Oh, and I've been trying to ask. So Orchid now knows what Katya is.
Yeah, as soon as Orchid senses, unless she... Yeah, I mean, with 3 hits, yeah, she notices that... By the way, Katya's astral form is that of a white tiger. Or more accurately, she knows that Katya's astral form is that of a white tiger, whether that's... Whether Orchid concludes that means that she's a shifter is probably up to Orchid and her knowledge skills. She doesn't care either way. What a surprise. All creatures are inferior before the majesty that is Orchid.
So in that case, I think the only people who don't know would be possibly Cage, unless Bones told Cage, and Bishoujo.
Bishoujo would have no way of knowing, you know, but also most likely would care even less than Orchid. Mostly because Bishoujo doesn't care about much anything. You know,
And
you
there is
could
a
turn
lot
into
of-
you could turn into a dragon, and once she realized you had no intent of eating her, she'd probably just wouldn't care. So, if we're all advancing the, I can't move people's tokens around, so if we're all going towards here, let's all kind of pull up to the main entrance.
Can you move my dogs? Else assume that my dogs are somewhere near Thrax, I guess.
Interestingly, I can move Phobos, but not Demos. Okay, where's Thrax? There's Thrax. Phobos has been here before, so Phobos isn't as bothered. Oh, he's probably just trotting along. Demos might be hanging back because he remembers what was like last time.
Yeah, he was scared last time, which is
That's
part of
what
the
I
reason
mean,
why
yeah.
Thrax wanted to take him. Like, come on, now you face it!
There you go. Somebody's moving, Demos. Was
I
that
think
you?
I think we have our dungeon master here. They're just hoping that you'll continue with the hosting, as they're likely busy with other things in the meantime.
Yes, yes.
Not
That
a
has been
GM.
clear.
Damn, fuck, my brain. Blarg.
Game
Well,
master, dungeon master.
I
guess-
guess Dungeon Master does apply in certain contexts, just not exactly this one. But it appears we lost a Bobob at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty early on, so I just decided that the Okami will not be appearing tonight. You want to go ahead and delete those?
Except she's necessary.
All right. Well then, that
So
will
I guess
be an issue.
yeah, we'll get as far as we can without a Bobob, and A lot of people were telling me they wanted to get to bed early tonight, so it looks like they'll get their wish. But we'll still do, some good solid role play here. But the other thing I think we should do is we definitely have Grim and someone else. Was it Athena who was trying to defuse the bomb?
Athena was at the post-election with.
The funeral.
Was it a funeral?
It was a funeral for Wolf Davy, where a bomb
Okay.
threat was called
Okay,
in.
then yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think someone wanted to have a random character at that. Was that you, El Diablo?
Yes, that was me. That'll be the Atslan mage person.
We will have to figure that out in more detail, possibly during the break. And Desperado, 2 hits was okay for Thrax because Thrax was already here and heard about the Blackberry Cat. So he didn't
Also
have to
true.
make a roll at all, technically.
Yes, that is also true. As a matter of fact, I guess everybody who was there when Hamlin was looking over the various magical items knows what a Blackberry Cat is, because they got told.
Indeed. So the only one who wouldn't have been informed would have been Katya. Go figure.
By
And
the
of course,
way,
Bashojo wasn't there, so.
if I may give a quick warning in advance, by the way, next week I won't be able to make it to the game because I'll be on vacation in Norway.
Norway, you say?
Yes, visiting a friend.
But Frosty's in Finland. I'm kidding. Well, he is in Finland. I'm just kidding about him being a friend.
Hoo-hoo, that's harsh.
But right. So I've missed things here and there. I've tried to listen in as much as I could when I could. So you're all just sort of walking around. But how much has Orchid actually told you that you're just looking for the cat? Is that what she's claimed?
Looking for document where you find it, but don't mess with it.
The big thing is that we know we're looking for a cat and that we are to look and not touch, but I don't think really Orchid has explained much else, but that may be because Kara doesn't know much else.
Exactly, yeah. So basically, Orchid would be here on Hamlin's side, and Thrax would be asked to recount the way the night went. So basically, Orchid's there to tell Thrax when he's got something wrong from a professional standpoint.
Okay, shall I do that now then?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we went, we approached pretty much as we just walked. Though Demos was being all scared and such. And I was like, no, come! But he would not come, but Phobos was fine, so he came. And then we went into here. And, well, things went pretty well. We just approached over there at the end of this kind of hall. And there is a big hole there. And we found that Hamlin was inside there. But apparently there was strange magical cat. Blackberry was watching. And I think Mike, yes, Mike went down and he got Hamlin slowly with help of others. He got Hamlin out of the hole. And then suddenly, big demon appeared right by those steps over there. And well, we went to fight it. And the Demos, Phobos, he ran in very brave. And he jumped right through demon. And then Athena went in for very, very big punch. But also went right through that and hit wall. And then Cat jumped down and demon disappeared and Cat ran away.
Does anyone have any questions for Thrax?
That cat ran But you never mentioned Cat being there in the first place.
Actually, I said magical blackberry cat was watching. I think later we figured out he was watching somewhere up there, and he points where they.
Remember, you can use the
found-
space bar to point on the map.
So yes, right up there. And when Athena punched wall here, that made shock, and I think it scared Cat off.
Backpack. Remember, there's the contents of the backpack.
Well, I think you'd have to do a memory roll for that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did not find it. I think only Athena found that.
Athena found it and made it obvious to everyone, but okay.
But
Katya
Orchid.
is gonna have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Katya is actually going to walk over and try to get a sneaky sniff around. Maybe she can smell the cat.
That is not a real glitch, Thrax, but it is also not enough to be aware of certain facts that were minimal to you. Orchid would make sure that everyone is reminded or informed that blackberry cats can only produce illusions of things that they have already seen. And Orchid would probably, this is up to Kara, ask Thrax to describe this quote-unquote demon. Kara can decide whether or not that is the case, though. And indeed she would. Okay, so Thrax, can you describe it?
Yes, I think it had many breasts. It also had, I think, many kind of tentacly arms, and it had very fangy mouth. I think it was kind of dark skinned in color. And it was pretty big, as it was about 4 times as big as I am.
You mean as big as Cage?
A little bit bigger,
No, Cage is humongous for a Cyclops.
Okay about cage size. No, actually a little bit bigger. It was very big. It would have been very, very brave fight if it wasn't illusion.
Out of character, I'm starting to think Thrax might actually be a Klingon.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
Well, they're probably both based on roughly the same cultures, is what it really is.
I kind of think the Klingons were based on more of a Norse/Scottish form of warrior honor culture.
I guess. Well, then that would be the whole difference. Thrax, there's never a good day to die for Thrax. There's a good day to kill for Thrax.
Very true, Desperado, very true.
But dying in battle is a beautiful death.
So there is Cage and Katya, the big hole over here. Katya, you don't have AR, do you?
AR? No.
No. Okay. But Cage, you would basically see an AR police warning sign basically being transmitted here saying, danger, hole, do not proceed. Basically, yeah, there'd be like warnings leading up to the hole as well, just to make sure that nobody else falls down.
But yeah, Katya's just trying to get over to the where Thrax indicated the cat was. And she's going to try to take a sniff without being really
roll your
nuts.
perception roll with a +2 for sense of smell. And active as well. Cage, are you going to look down the hole, or are you just wandering at the moment? The shoujo, you'd have to roll to decide that, and you're at the wrong end of the ruins to make that.
No, what I mean
perception
is
roll.
for yeah.
Oh, right. Good point. Katya's a tiger. Doesn't affect her anyway. Generally, the bigger the cat, the less catnip affects them. So yeah, Katya doesn't smell any catnip. There is the faint scent of another cat or two in the area, but it's so faint and so old, you can't really discern it as being recent. And Cage, why don't you go ahead and roll an intuition plus what's your character sheet? Do I have it right now? There's a number on your character sheet that it's a 7. You might notice. So roll your intuition plus that 7.
Just for fun, I'm gonna pre-age it. Oh, the math.
Just go ahead and say what your character would say out loud. You've been talking here and there already.
Alright. He'll just say, did you guys check these tunnels?
In fact, you were the only one here, so
Tunnels?
Yeah, these tunnels.
There are tunnels? I did not know there are tunnels.
Orchid says, tunnels? Because apparently even Orchid didn't know.
Well, to be fair, Hamlin was a little bleeding at the time, so he may not have remembered to tell her.
She'll say, like, catacombs?
So, okay, this is a question to you. You said the entrance is where? Don't really understand the phrasing.
Do you see the arrow where I'm pointing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, over there.
So what would Cage say or do?
He'll just point in the vague direction and be like, the one's over there. Do you not see him? Over here?
Remember, Cage is aware that he has talents which mundane people do not have. Although mundane's probably not the best word, because mundane is the opposite of magic, and Cage is not magic. But you know, he has perfected himself to the point where he has this confidence about what is to the south west. Orchid pretends she saw them the whole time. Yes, those. We should investigate those.
Right.
Roll a con. Let's see, what's her con gonna be? So, do we bump up her charisma? I think we bump up her charisma. Bump it up. Cha-cha. There we go. Orchid. Con. Ooh. Never mind. Her con is only 6. Anyone who gets at least one hit on judge intentions. Sorry, no, defender wins. Yeah, no. So yeah, anyone who gets one hit on judge intentions will be able to catch Orchid in a moment of. Oh God. Orchid, roll composure. Holy shit, Katya. Thrax, you're
I mean-
suspicious, but you're not 100% sure.
I mean, at a certain point, do you need to roll? Because in character, it makes sense to just not believe it.
You still have to roll just to see if your character's like, she's just awkward, maybe? I sent you your composure in TeamSpeak. Come on, Bones. I'm sure you could make this. Let's just see if you critically glitch.
Hope no.
You are Twister, and you did play as Thrax.
And I did get a
Roll.
1 out of
Oh,
210.
shit. I'm sorry, Kara. I forgot to hit enter this whole time. It was just sitting there ready to send. I am so sorry.
And his judge intentions.
And Orchid, you will just barely be holding back your sense of, I don't want to say embarrassment, because I don't know if Orchid's capable of being embarrassed. But yeah, Bones, you're suspicious of her. Thrax, you're suspicious of her. Katya, whatever. Cage and Bishojo, you both know Orchid is suddenly not in her element for a moment.
Just follow me. Just follow me.
Are there windows here that Katya can jump through?
Absolutely.
I'll jump through one.
Do a gymnastics roll. Yeah, that'll be enough to make a pretty graceful jump through the window. So is anyone not following Cage?
Sounds like a no. I've pretty much mentioned earlier, Bishojo, since Orchid's the ones who paying her, she's sticking relatively close to Orchid, but so wherever Orchid goes, Bishojo follows.
The child of Poseidon he's wise. I think he's wise.
I mean, I could try to expedite the process, but oh wait, man, you can't send a spirit underground because that's sending it through Gaia, and
You
that'll
could,
fuck
but,
it up.
but you can send it through tunnels because the tunnels have gaps. You just can't send it through solid soil.
You see,
These tunnels. This thing.
And so you'll find basically a bunch of shrubs and tree roots that are obscuring a tunnel. But you can pull the roots and the shrubs aside, and you'll see a dark cave laying ahead of you.
Oh,
Well, Miss
secret entrance.
Smart Elegance. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm surprised you were able to find this from all the way over there.
It's just a hunch. I'm good with these
I
things.
think it's Poseidon speaking to you, child of him.
I mean, probably. I don't know. I would hope so.
Can Katya see how far down it goes?
Welcome to the tunnels map.
I'm guessing this is the tunnel.
Indubitably.
Was there a drop to get in?
No, it's a gradual decline here.
So this cave
Okay.
can't be very deep.
Well, remember, he fell like, what was it, 10 meters at the other end of the cave network under the church? Well,
All right, so
monastery.
Orc decides we're going to explore these caves, huh?
I think Phobos, can you scout ahead? He is very good is scouting dark, deep places. He has good eyes, good nose, and good
Except he's
hiding
scouting the wrong
fur.
direction, Rambo.
No, he isn't. This is the tunnel going down.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
I
it
figured
was
as
the other way
such.
around.
No, this is the grassy area of the park up where you are.
Okay.
Also, roll an animal handling roll, Thrax. Or is it no, this would be animal training. Orchid clears her throat, says, right, so, who is first? I suppose some of our, well, foot soldiers should go up front. Those of you who have low light vision, you will be able to tell this is a pitch black cave. Those of you with thermographic vision, you will be able to tell there is no heat signature coming from inside
Going to
this
add to
cave.
that. Jesus Christ.
Katya's going to mention, we're going to want some light.
Cage is gonna put on his helmet.
What does your helmet offer?
Low light vision.
Yeah, low light again. It's pitch black in the cave. So
Oh,
even
okay.
low light's not going to offer you anything here.
You can see a little bit farther in before the little bit of light coming from the surface even dies out.
And I think as a Cyclops, don't you have thermographic vision naturally? That would be under qualities on the first tab.
Nope.
No
I
thermographic.
have
Eh?
Cyclopean eye. That's it.
Okay. Who here has thermographic?
That sounds like a resounding nobody. Well, Thrax, do you have low light or thermo?
I have low light, and as even the Shadow Hound only has low light.
Yes, but it has an excellent sense of smell.
Yeah, it does
And
have, yeah.
Katya. And
Katya,
only has
if
low
she
light.
if she were to switch into cat form, she'd also have her whiskers.
Yeah, that's what her composure was, whether or not she'd be okay with going into cat form.
Well, did
Um,
anybody think to bring a flashlight? Because I kind of left mine at home. I wasn't counting on going spelunking.
Technically, everyone's comlink could have a flashlight on it as long as it's rating 3 or higher.
Which means no for Katya.
Heyo.
Heyo.
I got a rating 3 as my lowest. The Singularity Battle Body Basic. So it's 3543, but the response and the system is 4.
So,
Well, I'm ready to go when you guys are.
Bishojo's gonna get a very light surprise when Katya changes.
I can make easy torch if you want. Give me a few branches.
At the moment, I think Bones is the only one in a position to actually notice Katya.
Everybody else everybody who is capable of sensing has sensed at this point. So they at least know that Katya's astral form is a white tiger. So when she shifts, it won't be as much a surprise. It'll be like, oh, that makes sense. But naturally, Cage and Bishojo don't have that ability.
Well,
And Katya walks past Bishojo.
Right, but so are you getting naked before you shift here? Because
I have fashion. My clothes
so
should
then you have
change
to
with
cast the spell.
fashion. And my dice pool for that is...
Don't forget you have to declare what force you're casting any spell on when you cast it.
I just have to cast
You
it at force
still
one,
have
so-
to declare force because force determines how much damage you have to resist.
Okay. I was casting that at force 1. You want me to re-roll?
Let me just take a quick look at the rule here. What page is fashion on?
Street Magic 173.
The spell instantly tears clothing, transforming garments into a fashion the caster wishes. The hits measure the degrees of style in the tailoring. The spell cannot change clothing's protective value, only its cut, color, pattern, and fit. The weight of the clothing does not change, and it must cover approximately the same amount of area. A jumpsuit can't be converted into a bikini. The caster must be touching the clothing. Well, obviously, if it's your own clothing. See, in this case, you should ask me ahead of time, and I would have said your threshold for this would be at least 2, considering... Well, actually, how big is Katya's cat form versus how big is her human elf form? That should
Well,
be
her
under your
elf-
character info page.
Height is 0.7 meters tall and 1.77 meters long for her cat form. And for her elf form, she's 5'8".
Do you not have that in meters as well?
And not off the top of my head.
Well, no, I thought on your character sheet it should list all of that information in both formats.
1.77 meters. And she's actually 5'9" in her elf form. So 1.77 meters. So it's a full meter.
Okay, and what is her weight in each form?
102 kilograms in her tiger, 72 kilograms in her elf.
So yeah, that would be, I'd say, a difference of 2 points. So, okay, attitude, fashion spell expanded rules. The way that the caps and the lowercase and uppercase letters keep changing is a little bit difficult.
Yeah, for some reason, cutting and pasting from PDFs never seems to work quite as easily as it should. I can also just give you the page number if you want to read it straight out. 157.
Okay. But number of hits, tinting, color change, minor adjustments such as mending bullet holes. No. So you definitely have to have at least 2 hits according to these rules. Although you are shaping a humanoid body's clothing into clothing for a tiger, correct?
Yeah.
So, yeah, 3 would actually be more apt to make sure that the clothing fit properly. So, go ahead and resist drain equal to force 3 because that's what you would have needed to ensure that the clothing don't get damaged. And with 2 hits, you're still 1 hit off from shaping the clothing enough to ensure you've got the results you want. This is also a permanent spell, so basically it will take a number of turns, so probably 15 to 20 seconds. All right, so you're taking some stun damage, or no, it's only 1, really? It's force 3 would be
Force divided by 2. Force 3 would be 1.
round down.
Round down. That's
Okay.
what it says for Tremor.
Cool. Okay, so good. But you'll need to cast again to
yeah.
finish morphing it.
And
At
this
this
will
point-
also be
At this
Force
point, you
3.
only need no. At this point, you only need force 1 to finish it.
okay. So I'll still cast it at Force 3 because same drain.
That's an excellent point. Yes. There you go. So your grand total is 7 hits. You can reshape this clothing significantly.
And I don't take any damage.
Great. All right, and then of course your shape shifting takes a few seconds as well. So anyone who hasn't witnessed a shapeshifter before, which is probably all of you, I mean, Bones, you heard about a shapeshifter at your hospital, but you never actually got to see them, if I recall correctly. We established.
But yeah, you'll all probably hear her casting the magic too.
Oh, she vocalizes?
Yeah.
That's an impressive composure for Orchid, who's just like, whatever. Cage, did you tell everyone that you know where you're going, or did you just go in silently?
He was just gonna go in expecting people to follow him, probably.
Remember, he knows that other people aren't as good at this sort of stuff as he is. So it's up to you whether or not he pities them enough to give them a hand, or if he's just going to wander on in and let them fend for themselves. What is his...
I think he would have said, "I'm gonna go with the dog to make sure nothing happens. I can find my own way around pretty easily."
So Cage is suggesting that he and Phobos go in alone? Is that what you're saying?
I thought Thrax was sending Phobos in anyways, so.
Yes, he is. But I'm saying Cage is suggesting no one else come in, or does he not care, or is he saying, follow me?
He meant it in the way that instead of the dog going by themselves, he was gonna go with them.
Yes, but what about the other people, I'm saying?
Oh, he doesn't care if they follow, but
Okay.
if they can see.
So you are saying you do not pity the fool?
I don't understand what you mean.
It's a reference to Mr. T from the A-Team.
Oh.
Yep.
I pity the fool.
So Bones, you're probably the only one who gets excited about witnessing Katya's transformation.
I don't know if it's considered pretty or not, but
Probably not. Twister, you've been broadcasting a lot.
Yeah, I
and-
know.
Okay.
I have my headset with a mute button to make it so I can relax on the bed, lying on my back instead of sitting up.
Okay. Okay. So did you have anything to say as Bones?
You'd probably have a face that nobody can see because they're all facing ahead. And then he'd probably make a mental note, but wouldn't make a comment or anything. I think 2 hits would allow that. For some
Yeah,
reason.
but if anyone was observing his astral form, like say a firehound or whatever it's called,
Hellhound.
hellhound. Thank you. Do you have his character sheet, Al Diablo?
Actually, yes, I do have Hellhound stats open right here.
All right. What's his sensing?
Let's see. It is not under skills, so then it would be intuition, biz-based intuition.
Intuition -1.
Yeah, then it would be 3.
He doesn't really understand your emotions, Bones. You don't have to worry about hiding them. All right. Orchid says, we are here to look for a cat, not dress up as one.
I don't know if dressing up as the cat is what's happening. And then
I
he's going
think
to
it is fascinating natural process. It's good to have seen this.
Bishojo leans over to Orchid and kind of stage whispers, I'm here to keep you alive, but if you keep pissing off all the other runners, they're going to use you for cover first.
Katya gives the tiger version of a laugh, which is basically some chuffing.
All right, so Bones is using his Comlink's camera to get a light to guide the way. What was the rating on your Comlink?
define rating. What am I looking at specifically for rating?
Average of all 4 core stats.
4.3.
So yeah, rating 4
No, sorry,
is,
just 4.
Yeah, all right, rating 4 or higher. You've got basically a pretty bright LED light. I mean, it's not like having a proper flashlight, but it's enough to see the walls and the ceiling of the tunnel and to clearly establish that it's descending gradually. Cage, it's a pretty tight fit for you. You're probably going to have to kind of crouch down and almost crawl at certain places.
Good thing he's wearing a helmet.
At the first opportunity, Katya's gonna sneak past Cage.
Wait, she's moving towards the dog?
She got a dog in front of her and a dog behind her.
Bishojo will ask Orchid if she can light the way up. That way she can keep both hands free, since she's got a rifle with her.
Right, and Orchid replied to Bishojo earlier saying, "Fine, you have a point." She whispers back, grumbling.
Now I really wish I'd brought sword.
All right, so she pulls out her comlink to provide minimal light. So Cage, you know about 15 meters ahead and about 5 meters down, you're going to come to a T-junction in the cave. But if you take a right or you go forward, it'll come to a dead end. You'll want to go to the left.
There's gonna be 4 passages we can take, but 2 of them are gonna be a dead end, so we're gonna take the left one first, I guess. Want to search the dead ends first? I don't know. I'm just.
How do you know all this? Do you have like an echolocation cyberware or something in there? Remembering that Bishojo doesn't know anything about whether he's got cyberware or not.
Bishojo, you don't have a radar equipment? I thought you did.
Mike has all sorts of fun toys.
Oh,
Bishojo
Mike has the
has a
radar.
very expensive comlink and not much else.
Whoopsie.
She'll get her chance to go shopping. She's been paid for a couple of jobs now, one of which should have been pretty good, so.
But Cage, are you going to reply to Bishojo's question, or are you just going to ignore her, or what?
Oh no, he's gonna be like, I just know. There's just some things that I know because I just know.
You also know that that Katya would be coming up behind you and trying to find. Well, actually, you know what? No, roll a judge intention here.
Yeah, but the thing is, she knows that she was there, but he didn't. He probably didn't actually see her shapeshift.
No. That's like The issue here is whether or not you're going to let her get past you.
Oh no, he would.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he would.
And Bashojo, this cage fellow is kind of funny. Not ha-ha funny, but also not he's going to kill us all funny. Somewhere between the two.
So,
So
Katya gets
funny in
past
all
him.
the ways that Killjoy isn't.
Yeah, he's kind of the anti-Killjoy. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, a runner with secrets is not exactly novel, so she'll not make any sort of fuss over it. It's like, well, if he doesn't want to tell me, he doesn't want to tell me.
He doesn't know.
That's fine.
And Katya turns to the left.
I accidentally put Orchid through a wall. My mistake.
Keep it up, little girl.
So, Cage now has a tiger in front of him.
He's gonna resist the urge to want to pet the big kitty.
Maybe roll a composure.
Definitely gonna do a double take.
Composure. Oh,
Especially since this kitty is also wearing armor.
composure's bad.
That actually is not a good composure roll.
Yeah, it's not good composure. He's not very.
So, what does Cage do to Katya?
As he lets her pass, he's gonna pat her on the head and he's, "You're so soft. You're like a big cat." He likes cats.
Is Katya gonna have to roll composure now too?
Yeah, she wasn't expected to be patted on the head, but she's fine.
She's just gonna kind of slink her body down to avoid his hand.
Yeah, the typical cat thing where I don't want to be pet right now, leave me alone.
And to be fair, she's got other things that she's far more afraid of than getting pat on the head.
Speaking of active spell perception,
Cage, up ahead on the left, or well, straight ahead basically, is going to be a little alcove that you can sense that there are living things in there. Probably bats or rats or something. We probably don't want to disturb those. But at this is a corner. Heading north will be the continuation of the path.
So there are living things over here.
Yes, inside here is a little kind of nest of some sort.
He's gonna, right before she walks up towards it, he's gonna say, there's some little kind of animals over there, something shit like living things. Don't scare them.
Well, Katya, you're first going to have to roll a perception with a +2 for scent. And then
I just did.
Oh, did you? Oh, active smell. Oh, yes. Okay. Now roll composure at -3.
Rats.
Does she know that Does he know that she's about to go pounce on something?
No, you'd have to roll judge intention, and I don't know if you can really read a giant cat body language.
You can read it.
That's true. The tail. So, but what's your animal handling on Cage?
Oh boy.
Actually, I think that's based on intuition, and your intuition's pretty high.
Yeah, it is. Animal handling defaulting an 8.
Yeah. Okay. So first roll. Well. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Roll judge intention, and then roll animal handling. Meanwhile, Katya, That hole, you could squeeze through it, but it would be a tight fit. Your call.
Would
Is it
that be
rats?
restraining?
Yes, it would feel kind of restrained. Like, yeah, it would be a very tight fit. And then animal handling cage. So you've dealt with little cats. Big cats seem to behave a little bit differently. So, Katja, what's on your planned mind here?
To see if she would be comfortable trying to go through that
So she's basically
because of
just
her
going
flashbacks.
She's going up to the hole and poking her head at it, just rubbing her whiskers up against the side.
Wait,
Yep.
what are you doing?
Should I also roll an infiltration to see if I alert them?
Yeah, no, you go ahead and roll infiltration. Cage, are you bothering with infiltration, or are you just stumbling ahead saying, "What are you doing?"
He's like, you're gonna disturb whatever's in there.
Nope.
Very loud and awkwardly.
But she might not, but Cage, being loud, roll edge.
Holy fuck, though.
Right, as everyone else hanging back, no one else is moving.
Well, I believe the whole idea was they're going to scout ahead, but also
Yeah.
Orchid hasn't said anything. She's the boss here, so to speak.
So Bones is the furthest ahead. Meanwhile, everyone else is just at the T-junction. Thrax, both of your dogs, well, Phobos, his ears perk up and forward. Meanwhile, Deimos lurches down and pins his ears back.
What are you hearing,
Oh,
boys?
and
Are you
would
not
Assensing
sure I
do
hear
anything for
anything?
Katya too?
Sorry, what was that, Hunter?
Would Assensing do anything for Katya here too? Because she's dual-natured.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do dual-natured roll.
And the Frax would quickly basically check on the senses of both of his hounds, beginning with Phobos and then going to Deimos.
I'm gonna put this as active Assensing since
Thrax, go ahead and roll active perception for each of your dogs then. You can also impersonate them, by the way, Thrax.
Okay, let me look them up.
Katya, you are just basically going to see the walls come to life, as it were. I'll describe it in more detail once Thrax has made his animal rolls.
3 plus 4 is 7.
The recording's about 2 hours. As soon as I've described this scene, we'll be taking a break.
Yeah. Kara's comment made me think, it's probably about that time.
Oh, I guess that makes sense why Deimos was more worried than Phobos. So Cage disturbs, because of his loud, "No, don't go in there," to Katya, a cave full of bats. The bats were already starting to wake up for the evening. They were going to start flying out shortly. But because of you folks coming in here, We're going to need a composure roll from Katya, Cage, Bones, Bishojo, Orchid, Thrax, and Deimos. Phobos will be the only one who doesn't roll composure. And we'll take a break and we'll discuss the results of those composures in about, let's say, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Katya's is,
0 hits.
Katya is probably like, oh, toy.
User disconnected from your channel.
Because sudden movement, cat instincts.
Flying creatures that while not
User
birds, are
entered
close
your
enough.
channel.
Something to play with. Probably try and snag one out of the air. And I shall be right back.
Squeak, squeak, they say, because you're a bunch of assholes. Invading their home.
User in your channel started
Alrighty,
recording.
so looking at the list here, Katya, with your 1 hit on your composure, it's playtime. Cage, with your 0 hits on composure here, yeah, the idea you had is probably what you're going to want to do.
Hell yeah.
Bones, with 7 hits on composure, you're perhaps a little bit disappointed in Cage for getting overly excited, and you will not be distracted from noticing what. Oh wait, oh, you have your flashlight, so you'll have to do a visual perception roll at a -3 to really determine what Cage is up to with Katya. Bishojo, 3 hits, was it? You've been under fire before. Bats are perhaps going to squick you a little. It's up to you whether or not bats are squicky.
Maybe not annoying, probably.
Annoying. Okay. So, you know, if too many swarm you, you might attack them or wave your hand at them, for example. Orchid, you rolled your composure for the bats and are just like, yeah, whatever. Then you rolled composure for Cage and Katya, at which point you're probably just letting out a very loud groan. Bones, that's enough to determine that when Cage starts to do what he's going to do to Katya, you'll be able to see it. Thrax, your composure. You don't know. These bats, maybe they're magical bats. Maybe they're cursed bats. You have to be ready. Deimos, however, he's moved into a position where he is ready to lunge, but he's not afraid. It's more like if something bothers him, he's ready to fight it. And Phobos will be in a similar state of mind. So, okay, Cage, what were you going to do to Katya? Or attempt to do to Katya?
He was gonna grab her by the tail and pull her out and pin himself against the wall. Against the opening.
Oh.
This is not go good.
So, yeah, go ahead and impersonate your token, both of you. And anyone else who wants to, go ahead and press the initiative macro and fill it in as appropriate.
Hey, we're all rolling initiative?
Anyone who wants to get involved in this. Katya, you're being forced to be involved in this.
And I...
Oh my god, I've never had to do initiative for Cage before. Yeah, it's impersonate.
Why? Under initiative, it just says hold, resume.
Yeah, so you
Big
want to
pool.
go to window and then press impersonate, which is the bottom option. Because that'll let you press the macro to enter yourself into the initiative order.
Oh, okay.
The first set is your initiative. The second set is your initiative passes.
Oh, okay. This is not gonna.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have more initiative passes than Katya.
Yep. For sure.
Which means, yeah, you're going to trigger her.
Okay, I did this the wrong way around, sorry.
I've done that before.
Probably should have pre-edged my composure roll, but this is the fun part about having a low composure.
I could have swore, Katya, you probably should have had more initiative passes, shouldn't you? As a shapeshifter?
I only have one.
As a
I only have
shapeshifter?
one. Dual-natured, enhanced senses, natural weapons, regeneration, sapience, and shift.
It's not under a power. It would be in the upper right corner of the other tab.
Other info, initiative 9, initiative passes 1.
Really? Okay then. Never mind. My mistake.
I have 3 astral initiative passes though.
Ah, okay. That would explain that.
But
All
that's
right.
from being a magician.
Orchid, did you want to get involved? Bishojo, did you want to get involved?
I'm not sure what's going on exactly.
That's a good point. Okay.
So there's good, there might be a bunch of bats flying around, but that doesn't bother her.
Thrax, technically there's nothing you can do to stop Cage from attacking Katya here because you don't even really have line of sight.
Whoa, this isn't attacking. It's more like a rough, friendly,
It is.
get the fuck out of the way.
Well, regardless, that's actually not what Frax is interesting. Frax would basically say in Turkish, hit the deck! And he would basically, hit the deck. He would lie down on the ground flat. And that's it.
Yeah, but I have it ready, so I know he gets more initiative passes.
Well, initiative still goes by who gets first initiative.
Oh, and VT. Rereading flashbacks. If it triggers and she doesn't succeed in her check, he is unresponsive for minutes.
Yeah, that'd basically be her reverting to her animal instincts.
So instead of going catatonic, she'll just go catatonic.
She'll just go cat.
Hey, am
But,
I supposed to be rolling something?
What are you doing? You're grabbing her, correct?
Yeah, he's.
All right, so you're going to make an unarmed skill check, and basically, you won't be dealing damage. You'll be attempting to grapple, essentially.
This counts as subduing, right?
That is correct, yes.
I get a +1 to those.
Okay, then.
Martial arts.
Also, you have reach by nature,
Yep.
so you would get that as a bonus as well here.
It's unarmed combat. So, right?
But as a Cyclops, you're a big person, so you get
Yeah.
that +1 there as well for being big.
Okay.
Question. Because she's in cat form, her whiskers, they sense the motion.
Yeah, the motion
Does
in
she know-
front of her, not behind her.
All air currents which caused by motion.
Yeah, and
That's
you've
all
got
cat-
you've got a bunch of bats flapping their wings in front of you. So you're okay. Both of you roll initiative as just type it in. Don't hit the macro button. Just type your initiative. Yeah, Cage is definitely going to surprise you here, Katya.
So you've got her by the tail.
So the 12 SR4 was for
So,
the
what is your strength?
11.
All right, so you've got 16 points worth of grapple on Katya's tail right now.
Mm-hmm.
Thrax, all you said was hit the deck, right?
Yeah, and he drops himself down to the floor.
Okay, any other action?
Nope.
Okay, Cage, you basically want to pull Katya away from the hole?
Yep.
All right, each of you roll your strength, please. Or actually, you know, Cage, strength times 2, Katya, strength plus body. You may move Katya 3 meters.
Okay.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically want to move into there, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
That was his first instinct.
Katya, you just had the Cyclops grab your tail, pull you away, and then move into your hole.
First off, by grabbing my tail and moving me physically, that's a form of restraint. So,
Rolling composure, yes.
actually, no, it says will plus intuition.
Oh, that's a bit different. Okay.
Yep. So for Katya, will plus intuition. 7 SR4, I need to get 3 hits.
All right, so the good news is stone binders don't exist in Europe.
Okay. So she's not triggering her flashbacks. That's good.
Probably still pissed, though, if you want to roll composure. Or at this point, you can just straight up say she's pissed. You don't have to roll composure here. This one's optional.
But play toy. She wants to pounce towards one of the bats, but Cage is between her and the bats.
Listen,
No.
all I'm saying is you don't have to feel guilty because I can take a hit, so...
Yeah, she's pouncing on Cage.
So you'll be making an unarmed attack of your own?
Yep.
Well, actually, here's the real question. Is it unarmed if you're using your claws?
Yes,
Claws are
it's
correct.
a natural weapon, so you use the unarmed skill.
And right now, since he didn't trigger flashbacks, she's in enough mind to not to keep her claws in. So.
He's going to attempt to parry.
How? Aren't you trying to protect everyone from the bats?
Well, I was picturing more of like he was pressing his shoulder and his side into it, and he was gonna defend himself with his other arm.
Okay, I'll say you're at a -2 penalty. Actually, no, make that -4 because you're also in a confined space.
Okay. Does reach count?
Did Katya, you'd have to move closer again. So yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. So yes, you get your reach bonus.
So 11 minus 4. Math. Holy shit.
Also, this is a pounce, so she's gone full weight onto you. So, if that matters any.
Well, he's a pretty big boy. I think
You know
he'll
what?
be okay as far as that's concerned.
And he's also supported by the wall.
I have plenty to use. Oh my god, I can't do math to save my life. What's 7 plus 5?
Well,
Yep.
Thank
You
you.
know, if you need to, you can make multiple rolls.
Oh, that's true.
defender wins.
You pre-edged it, did you? Just using up all your edge. What was that you were doing there, Bones?
I'm rolling 2 different sets of dice to make it so that you know that you can roll 2 different sets of dice. It's a little bit more complicated looking. It's just, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what was that 4SR4 about? Andre?
Oh, because if he's going off of basic instincts, I had him roll composure to see if he would attempt to throw first since he parried the attack.
Oh, you've got a free throw, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead and what are the rules on throw?
I think we discussed it was the unarmed rating plus strength.
And the number of hits is the number of meters you throw your target.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll.
I can't remember, does reach count in this particular thing?
Again, yeah, it would. Because you got those big long arms. They're useful for throwing people.
Mm-hmm. So,
Well, she's probably going to be using gymnastics to land, so
3 plus 11 plus 1, 15.
Okay, I've found 2 awakened bats so far. Neither of them are in Europe.
I believe, not that I want to do damage, but I believe every point.
Yeah, every hit is a meter moved. So this direction, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
rolling
Katya, you are not at risk of hitting anything. You don't have to roll anything special. However, if you want to, you can roll a gymnastics to land on all 4 of your feet gracefully.
yeah.
And Orchid, do you want to roll another composure, please?
Not enough to say she lands silently as well as gracefully.
I don't know if it's relevant at this point.
Oh, there she is. So Orchid, I don't know how pissed you are, but roll a composure to see how you react to Katya trying to grab the bats, Cage pulling her by her tail, tossing her away, then shoving his shoulder into the bat hole. Katya leaping at Cage, Cage basically just grabbing her face with his big meaty hand, and then tossing her another 3 meters away. Okay, Orchid, with 9 hits on your composure, this is almost entertaining.
And
But
to
is the
finish
point.
Katya's turn. And to finish Katya's turn, she's using a free action to give a tiger roar.
Bones, how do you respond to this whole situation?
Poorly. So the first thing he's going to do is going to move 30 feet. No, that's a right click. I don't know why it dropped. My right clicks will now move my character.
You hit spacebar is what you're supposed to do.
It's roll 20 that just made that change. My mistake. So I'm just going to say that's about
Yeah, you just
Five.
leave. You were about 5 meters so far.
okay. And well, it's nowhere near 30. It's only one turn initiative.
You would be passing Katya, which would mean she'd get an attack of opportunity against you if she so chose. Just something to be aware of.
Yep. Is Katya interested in getting an attack of opportunity?
Actually, you have glamour.
I have glamour.
You have glamour, yeah. But she isn't human.
Yeah.
Does glamour affect non-humans?
But there isn't an official ruling on that. So as GM, I'm suggesting she might be compelled not to attack, but she can still choose to attack. Katya, do you feel threatened by Bones at all?
I'm going to roll a passive audio perception.
Why?
Because if she hears him coming, she might not. If he's suddenly right beside her,
You'd hear him coming.
she's going to take a surprise back.
You'd hear him coming because he's talking along the way.
Okay,
Well,
so
she just also roared.
yes, but if he's
doesn't-
talking, how much is he saying? What is he saying?
He's basically trying to. He's like, whoa, 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 getting his hands. Sorry, running between them, putting his hands up towards both of them. And I was going to ask if I can do that, and neither of them took damage, did they? It didn't look like Cage at all got
Yeah,
hurt.
neither of them have actually got hurt.
Okay. In that case, he's going to cast Attribute on himself. Sorry, increase attribute Charisma. I should probably specifically. Rating 7 or Force 7.
Bear in mind, because you ran, you're at a -2 to this test.
Okay. Damn. And then it's 12 SO4 to resist 1. Well, that would be nice. Okay. Can I make a not negotiation, a leadership test to calm them both down?
You're basically just saying, calm down. Basically,
Well,
thing is, you were casting a spell at the same time, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I guess in that case, I can't really.
Yeah, you were focusing on the spell, so you could be mumbling out these words. So go ahead, and I'll say a -5 penalty to your leadership.
Gotcha. I'm gonna actually edge this in that case, because that's a pretty big deal. -5, you said?
Indubitably, yes. Okay, I found a third bat, but it is also North American. Seriously, are there no bats for... No. Are there seriously no bats for Europe?
Oh, check Paranormal Animals of Europe.
Oh yeah, that is a book, isn't it? Could you do that for me? Will I GM? Right, Bones.
I can do that.
Yes.
If both Katya and Cage would like to roll their composure plus their leadership skill rating, Cage, you would be getting a -4 to this because you've known Bones a long time, and I'm pretty sure you trust him.
Yep.
Although Katya, you had a pretty... You have antipathy towards Bones. I'd say you're actually at a +2 on this roll.
My
So,
leadership is
composure.
0.
So then you just roll your, did I say composure or judge intention? What did I say?
You said
Composure.
composure, but my
Okay.
composure is 4, so I roll 0 dice.
Yeah, so automatically you will be like, yeah, no, Bones, you're right. I don't hurt her.
He wasn't really trying to. It's more of like,
Ironically, she has 1 point in leadership.
But Bones is still more convincing than your pride right now, Katya. And just a quick aside, the Birdman. The Birdman is a large bat whose body's length is about 60 centimeters with a wingspan of up to 2 meters and a weight of up to 1 kilogram. The Birdman is neither a bird nor a man, but an awakened version of a common big brown bat. What the fuck? Why did they call it the Birdman?
It doesn't say in the article.
It's also been known as the man bat, which is closer to its appearance.
Well, yeah, I could see that then. You know, it's a Birdman. No, it's a Batman. Wait, that's trademarked.
It's primarily an insectivore, but I don't see a picture of it in any of here, so. Seriously though, where the fuck have you guys found any bats on yours?
Still going through because it's not really searchable. But
Yeah,
nope.
the word bat keeps bringing up combat.
Well, in this case, it brings up nothing because it's an old edition book. But so far, nope. I'm a chunk of the way through. Of course, there are, other things you could throw at us.
That's
if
true.
you insist on throwing
Yeah.
things at us.
Yeah, it's just I've already established it's a bat nest, so I want to,
So, mutant bats. E-bats!
Well, I was looking for those too. But Thrax, it's your turn again. Are you taking any further actions? The bats have not come out of the hole yet.
In that case, he slowly does get up and kind of stays close to the wall and moves towards, where he thought the bats would be coming from to kind of investigate.
Would anybody else need to roll a composure due to the loud tiger roar?
I think pretty much at this point only the dogs.
Orchid's face palming too hard. Bishojo's used to grenades going off and stuff, so this is nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's the exact same case for Bones and Cage. Is that we're I'm ex-military and ex-mercenary. Cage, I know is ex-mercenary. I just don't know if he's also anything extra.
He's been a mercenary for most of his life, so no.
Yeah.
The only reason why he was acting like a frantic idiot is because he doesn't know what's in, like, really doesn't know, like, what kind of, it could be a potential threat. That's what, in his mind, that he's thinking right now. So, that's why he's acting like.
He's acting very sensible and protective.
Yes!
But you took Katya away from her toy.
Oh, I've got
case-
one. Oh, I've got a special animal.
And we all died. That's how we all died. That's how you'll tell this story later, everybody. You know, our GM said, "Oh, I have a special animal," and then we all died.
Well, ironically, this reminds me of what happened last night when my Darker Dungeon character got ripped to shreds by giant bats.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
so that's how yesterday ended?
We didn't even get to play. Right when we got to combat, our friend said, "Oh, I have to leave," and then the GM was just like, "Okay, everyone's dead."
You all get mercilessly
Fucking
ripped
rip.
to shreds by giant bats.
It's hilarious. I'm kind of glad I decided against it then.
Oh, Lynn had only 1 HP total.
Yep. Have you never played Darkest Dungeon?
We're off topic.
Yeah, so it is now Cage's turn in the initiative.
Mm-hmm.
You have been calmed.
He's just gonna stand there, still pressing his shoulder into the hole just in case. And he's gonna say like, I told her not to go in here, and she goes in there, and I have to pull her, and then she tries to.
So technically, are you ending combat, Cage?
Yeah.
Is anyone else prolonging combat?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just still hoping a bat comes out.
The bats are basically slapping against your side in their cage, and they are making a lot of. Katya, nothing's come out yet. Who wants to talk or do what?
I want to put a hand on Cage to give him astral body. So increase attribute body. Because if he's being hit in the back by these bats, I don't know if they're going to try to bite him or anything.
He'll be able to tell you, if he so chooses, that he's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. I'm wearing all my armor.
Oh, okay.
Who is
Orchid says, one more outburst like that, and I won't be covering for your stupidity in my report to our boss.
We should indeed be careful. It's not. It's maybe we keep quiet. Yes.
Was she referring to both of us or just one of us?
I imagine he's
didn't
saying
know
that
that.
in character to Bones.
Yeah.
And I don't know how well Orchid reads cat faces, but Katya looks confused.
I'm sorry.
All right, what's going on here? You two is freaking out over some bat?
Well, we didn't know what they were, and they could have been dangerous. You know, like magical bats.
This is true.
Then
Katya
you know
shakes her
I
head.
have grenades.
Yeah, but
I do not think grenades is a good idea.
Yeah, no, anyone with a military background, grenades in a tunnel, not a good idea.
yeah,
Well, what kind of grenades? I didn't say they were high explosive.
Yeah, but generally when people
too
say
bad.
they have grenades, they're referring to frags.
Also, gas fills up tunnels really quick, and then we choke out as well.
But I do have incendiary grenades. We could just roast. Anybody up for roast bat?
no, don't hurt the bats. Just, I'm gonna let them out, so don't leave them alone.
Sounds fine to me.
And he's gonna let the bats out.
Katya, your composure's still pretty low, so respond accordingly of your own volition.
So, what would it be to catch one of these with their claws?
Unarmed attack with a -2 modifier because of -3 modifier because of how small they are. Oh, but they're in a swarm. So the fact that there's so many of them, that will offset the fact that they're so small. So no modifier. Wow.
He half-heartedly bats at one.
Well, let me see. Reaction of 2. And do they have the dodge skill? They do not. So the bats manage to evade your claws.
And now she's just watching them fly past.
Everyone roll edge, please.
Oh no.
Katya. And Thrax. Okay, so Katya, you're going to get guano on your fur of your head.
Also, Cage, no hits.
Yeah, no hits is not the same as glitches. So yeah, Katya getting guano on her head. Thrax, you'll get guano on a location of your choice. You may also defer it to one of your pets.
Probably on his arm as he kind of shields himself when the bats come out. Ugh, now I really need showered later.
They were just
Cold
normal
shower, I
bats.
think.
Bishojo turns to look Orchid to see if she's going to make a comment.
And Katya is now starting to try to wipe it off of her head.
The way cats clean themselves is to lick and then groom.
Not on the top of their head, though.
No, like lick their paw and then groom their head. And
Yeah,
then lick their- yeah. Orchid will say, you needed a shower years ago. Time flies.
I'm gonna roll
That's pretty
composure
much
on that
what
because
I
that
was
sounds
thinking.
like an insult.
Was that, Orchid, who was that directed to? Who said they needed a shower?
Frax did.
Yeah, roll a composure.
That was literally why Bishojo turned. It's like, oh, with a straight line like that?
PvP.
You feel the need to respond in kind.
Let me think. What would be an appropriate insult? Well, even with shower, no man would ever get close to you. So there.
You should probably also roll composure, Orchid, just to see how much pity you feel for Thrax. Orchid says, I wouldn't want anyone covered in shit within a 3-mile radius, but here we are.
And Katya scoots past Cage and Thrax. Cage and Bones.
He wouldn't let you through this time. After after ignoring him and going straight towards the bats, he doesn't want you to go in front of him anymore.
So Cage is putting his hand in front of Katya's face, but not touching her.
Yeah, and then he's gonna lean down politely and be like, "Can you please watch my back so if any more bats fly out of that cave, you can grab them."
Oh, by the way, the smell perception when I got 5 hits earlier. Did I smell any cats?
No, no cats, just bats. But Cage, phrased that very diplomatically, Katya. How do you respond? Oh shit. Katya, what languages do you speak?
Probably doesn't even understand him.
Cantonese, English, Russian, and
Okay.
Western Yakut Tiger.
English. Cage, you know English, right?
I don't think so. No, he just knows Greek.
Would he be speaking in Greek to her? Or remember, he does technically have carnivore gold, which translates stuff that he hears or speaks through his comlinks and such.
Sure, he'll try his best.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and roll? What's the rating on your carnivore gold?
I have to look for a 3.
Go ahead and roll the 3 plus your intuition in this case.
Oh, that's good. 3 plus 9, 12. Fuck. Fuck. And then he's gonna look to Bones for help.
Bones, are you there?
Yes, I am. Um, I don't really know how to move forwards though. Is Katya actually
Katya
ahead?
doesn't understand. Katya's trying to get ahead.
So,
Okay.
so at first, Cage would probably have stumbled with his English very poorly, then would look to you, Bones, and say it in Greek. Have you got translator for Greek, Bones?
I have the thing reading 4, but at the same time, I feel like I probably would have some way to communicate with them. Carnivore Gold reading 4, but would I have anything additional because me and Cage have been communicating for a good amount of time?
If usually, yeah, see, he's under stress, so he's not doing his best with his translating. So at the moment, you're both going to have to make rolls here for something that's usually you just kind of hash out. But you will get a +2 on top of this Carnivore Gold roll to help you because you know him. You know him pretty. For you, it's
I rolled the rating of Carnivore Gold plus the
Okay.
other thing.
and also what's your software skill?
Oh yeah, that's true. Software skill. I think the skill rating itself might be 0. But I'll
But
find
then
that.
logic -1, basically.
Logic -1. Okay. 4 hits total.
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to get that. He's trying to explain to Katya, if she stays behind him, she can catch all the bats that might try to fly ahead, you know? He's trying to be diplomatic with the cat.
Yeah. He might chuckle for a second and then, to an extent, repeat the message, being a little bit softer and a little bit more letting her keep her pride as like it was pretty well worded, honestly. But he try to go a couple inches further.
So, Hunter, do you want to make Twister roll for this, or will you just respond with what you want to respond with?
Considering the fact that he's talking to her like a person instead of an animal, I'm gonna have to say he has to roll. Because right now she is more animal than she is person.
So, rolled a 4 on his leadership.
And for me, it'd be composure plus leadership.
Yep, and you can set your own threshold here.
So I don't have to beat his.
Tying it. So what are you declaring your threshold as here?
I'd say 4 hits. Well, 4 hits and she beats him. She'll stare between Bones and then Cage and fall at the ground and then nod.
All right, are the rest of you catching up to the party then?
Oh, nice to see everyone again. I'm glad you showed back up to the party. That was out of character. He's gonna wait here and point everyone the right way. And then I'm going to sense out at a certain point when it gets too far ahead and the party's starting to split up at all. To make sure that I'm keeping with the backpack and making sure that they're, to an extent, following the same path. So, is that going to be an issue, or can I just do that?
Everyone will be able to stay together well enough, either through technology or magic.
Okay.
This does not feel like a catacomb so far. Are you sure this is same cave?
I'm pretty sure.
You are sure it's the same cave because just up ahead over here is the hole, but you're not the one who suggested catacombs. Orchid was the one who suggested catacombs, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I just said it was a tunnel.
Did you mean to reveal the entire thing?
Yeah, at this point, you've pretty much gone the whole way. But if you eventually go to here, this would be a drop-off that's about 2 meters down that goes into the hole where Hamlin was. And if you look up, there is, of course, the open sky above you in that little square hole where the broken, rotten wood is.
And I'm guessing around this point we should probably be making perception rolls, if memory serves me.
Yes.
I'll do one. Should I?
Okay, I hear someone typing. I think it's Twister.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a roll and then add a separate roll because I have a specialization for visual perception.
Bear in mind, however, that this is a very dark area, so we only have that flashlight, basically. Or did someone else pull out a flashlight as well?
Am I rolling the same roll I did earlier?
No, because your, innate sense isn't going to help you here
Okay.
with your single eyeball.
And Orchid's comlink is, I would imagine, very good. So it's probably got a pretty good amount of light to it.
I think hers is actually a cyberdeck. Well, you'd be able to make calls on your, but yeah. Well, if you want, you could also have that. Sure. I mean, technically, all of your agents are on dedicated devices, so you've actually got like a set of comm links, like 10 comm links on your person.
Like a deck of comlinks. With a lot of
Hey, wait a
cybernetic
second.
power in it.
It kind of reminds me of a certain giant. You don't know him, do you? Mr. Monteson. Does the exact same thing.
So 5 for all of her perceptions except for visual, which is a 6.
Active perception is +2, right?
Plus
Plus 4.
4,
Four.
actually. But
Oh.
I was actually trying to get the darkness modifiers, but my PDF is misbehaving right now. It's acting as if it's chewing up all of the resources, and anytime I try to change the pages are just coming up blank.
I don't think there would be darkness modifiers since
There
Orchid
are. Then
and
I'm trying to
Bugs.
determine what they are, is what I'm saying. But trying to flip through my book right now is giving me some issues.
Well, Cage is gonna look towards Orchid and, awkwardly, like, can you turn on my flashlight on my comm link?
Visibility table. Full
Yeah.
darkness, partial light, glare.
Yeah. Okay. So -6 for. Well, no. I guess this is.
We've got the
All
hole
right.
and
Well,
we've got our
you've
flashlights.
you've got your flashlights. So anyone with no vision modifier, I'm going to say is at -3. Anyone with low light is at -1. Anyone who's only thermographic is also, yeah, for this is at -3 because this thing is not emitting any light.
In that case, all of Katya's perceptions are 5. She rolled a 6 for her visual, but -1.
Bit
Well,
of a-
shit, Bones. I guess as a doctor you need to.
So -3 for nobody, for people who are just using the Mark 1 eyeball.
Yes, the regular organic eyeballs. But I mean, everybody's getting such high marks anyway. We don't have to worry about it. You'll be able to pass them around. So anyone who has magic threats, magic theory, or magic traditions may make those knowledge rolls. Orchid, let me just get your number here for you.
I have all 3.
So magic theory and magic all of them technically will have the same threshold, so just choose whichever one's the highest for you. Orchid, your highest will be 14.
Okay, and would this have anything to do with the shaman magical tradition?
No, not shaman.
Okay, so magical threats would be my highest. And I will edge that. That will be 2 of my 3 edge.
Are we? Is this the only part of this thing at all? Like, correct me
No,
if I'm wrong.
if a Bobob were here, there would be something way more significant that I'd want to be doing right now, but I didn't want to waste all of your night, so I've given you all something to do since a Bobob fucked off.
Yes. So we don't get the transformer or Yeah, that. I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm referencing.
Honestly, no, I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
Oh, I made the joke where everyone got several hits on their enemy, so they're all just like stacked up on each other. Goliath has like someone like taped to his arm with a machine gun.
Oh yeah, no, that was what was going to
Oh, I
happen.
know.
So
That's what I was saying. Like, we should probably not be spending all our edge because we're about to be needing all of our edge. But if that's not happening and this isn't related to the session,
right. So Katya, you don't know exactly what it is, just that it has the stench of evil about it in a magical regard. Bones, you're unfamiliar with these particular carved runes into the stone, but you can distinctly tell that they were their purpose is magical. Oh, and Orchid's the one who's going to get the very special info, but Kara's gone AFK. Fuck. So we'll have to wait for her to come back to find out what she reveals, if anything, to the others.
Which, is kind of appropriate since she's Hamlin's assistant, whatever.
Yes.
Also,
yes.
tonight is cursed nearly.
Sorry, cursed?
Yes, the luck has not been on the group side tonight, outside the game.
Then it would be funny if Hamlin were here himself, because he has the bad luck negative quality.
He would have gotten shit on by so many bats.
Yep. Actually, you know what? I think I need to test that. So thing is, I don't remember how much edge he has, so I'm gonna just roll 3 because that's average for an orc. Well, it wasn't a real glitch, but it also wasn't bad luck. So he just would have been fine in that situation.
Narrowly avoiding all of the bat shit.
Odd. Got very similar results there.
And bad luck.
Okay, so that last one would have actually been equivalent to a effectively a glitch.
25% chance of getting shit on.
Interestingly enough, he never had a real glitch or critical glitch, despite only having 3 dice.
He might in 2 more rolls.
Actually
Damn.
did better.
He's one lucky. He's one lucky motherfucker. Despite having bad luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Hindsight, I probably shouldn't already have used 3 of my edge, but hey, it was fun. Just don't possess me with a demon or anything.
Okay. We all know how much of an asshole Orchid is, right?
No, actually, I think we're
Yeah.
we're just beginning to get a feel for just how much of an asshole she can be.
I mean, Paige thinks she's cool, but
Poor Cage. Okay, so while we wait for Kara, What, as players, do you feel I should do here? Should I reveal what Orchid would have uncovered, or do all of you feel that that should really be Kara's choice?
Kara's choice, because there's no guarantee Orchid will actually tell us.
Well, it would also depend on, exactly what is going to be told. If it's like, oh, by the way, don't touch that, it's cursed, she probably would.
Well, I mean, I'm probably still going to say it out loud anyway, just because,
Well, then say it out loud, and we can.
yeah.
If she doesn't tell us, we'll pretend we don't know it. I think everybody here can do that.
So these are the runes of the individual that Hamlin is chasing.
Would Orkin have a name for this individual?
Again, that's going to be up to Kara, but there are several names that this individual goes by.
Okay.
Hampstead, Grigory Rasputin, John D, I think it was. Let me just double check that last one.
Does he also go by Brett Keane?
Sorry, I didn't recognize that last one.
I am not surprised you don't. That's a very weird, obscure internet joke.
Yeah, no, so it wasn't John D. John D was the quote-unquote good one. It's John D's compatriot. Edward Kelly, there we go. So this is the name that the individual is known by.
Also known as Edward Talbot.
Oh, didn't Hamlin mention that when we were at the place?
Indeed, indeed. Oh, your link is broken there. You have to. Here, let me show you in TeamSpeak. You have to put that at the end of a link, or else it considers the whole thing the URL.
Wait, so is this just like a giant pit, or is this just where a floor?
So yeah, this is a pit that falls down from the chapel above,
Oh.
and that's
It's worth
where,
noting that that's how far Hamlin fell, all the way
Yes.
from the floor.
Yeah, so Hamlin fell about 13 meters, 10 to 13 meters. It was so bad that his leg, the bone in his leg came out of his body.
Sounds like a two-story drop.
I fell about a total of 4 feet, standing up straight to the ground, and my bone came out. So,
You had a compound fracture from a 4-foot drop?
oh yeah, it shattered the bone, both halves. They had to open the cut further to pull out bone fragments, and then it didn't. They opened it too much, so that when they sorry, this is super off topic. Forget it.
No, it's fine. We're waiting for Kara anyway, so it technically is on topic.
That's good. They opened the hole so wide that when they attempted to reseal it, it burst back open.
Ugh.
So at that point it was in the cast. So all I knew is that my arm really hurt for a period of time. From that, and then they cut open the cast to swap it out because they realized that my wrist was all covered in blood that was slowly seeping out of the cast. And then they saw that it was literally just my entire arm was caked in blood. It was like, oh, so that's probably why I'm always tired and why my arm hurts.
So it was the arm that broke despite it being a 4-foot drop?
Oh yeah, my arm broke in half.
Ow. That just must have hit something wrong.
Yep. I put my hands down in front of me and I hit at an angle. So if you make a karate chop, bend your wrist backwards, and then that joint's right there. The bottom of your wrist is what hit the ground. Of my wrist is what hit the ground. Slapped her right on the concrete. Not your wrist. No, you're fine. I didn't break your wrist doing this. Like, you're welcome for not doing that to you.
No, I did break my arm when I was a kid, but not doing that.
I mean, I broke my arm 3 times total. When they went to change the cast, the doctor grabbed the cast, grabbed my wrist, and pulled apart. Do you want to know what happens when you grab the wrist and then something that's being sealed, the entire arm? They cut it in half, so like you can see the top half of my arm, and then you can see like a wall of coagulated blood and gauze on like both sides of my arm, and then you can see the actual cast. Because they pulled the top part off, and it was more or less fun because gravity doesn't work backwards. So he snapped my arm in half trying to pull it out. Yeah, a week after I first broke my bone, he thought it would be fine to pull the worst part, instead of cutting it in half the bottom and then splitting it sideways. So that's the second time I broke my arm.
So basically, you had a bunch of incompetent doctors and nurses.
That wasn't a doctor. Yeah. That was one of the not professional. That was one of the what are they called? Administrator office workers. It was so overworked that they had an administrative office worker try to change my cast.
I feel
The third time I broke my arm, I was playing on the PlayStation 2. My brother said it was his turn. I'm like, I literally just picked up the controller. He grabbed my wrist and dropped his elbow and all of his weight on my arm. In the exact spot it broke before. Until it broke.
So Kara's back. Welcome back,
Kara.
Kara. The role you
Yes, my
made
stomach was
with-
getting queasy with those stories.
Yes, Orchid managed to determine that the rocks with the runes etched into them were the very same ones that Hamlin warned her about, that are the method by which their great enemy, as it were, uses to summon his Shadem and dark spirits. He is known by many names: Edward Kelly, Grigori Rasputin, most recently as Wilfred Hampstead. Now, Orchid, you already knew that this site, Hamlin was quite certain that Grigori used this site to summon a dark spirit, the one that the cat saw. What you've stumbled across is evidence that it was definitely his magical tradition which was used in this area. So, will Orchid be revealing any of this to any of the Shadowrunners with her, or is she just recording visuals? Is that in character, Kara? Oh, this is basically her internal thought process, I guess. So her internal thought process is, I fear if I were to inform these fools, their tiny minds may not be able to bear the burden and may collapse under the strain. I'm going to tell them!
You know what? Sometimes you just need to believe in those around you, and maybe you'll find yourself pleasantly surprised.
She believes in Prodigy. Prodigy's not here, Twister,
That's
now is he?
true. But, I mean, you've not had a reason to have a negative opinion of Bones yet. You did immediately try to stop the fight between people.
The point is, she has an immediate negative opinion of everybody until proven otherwise.
That's fair. That's fair. Composure to not laugh at all and explain why she's laughing at those fools. Oof. Well, that's a good thing to get a 6 on.
Unless, of course, her threshold was 7. That
True.
really depends on Kara's choice in this matter, though. Elective composures are like that. Okay. Is she collecting any specimens of these rocks? Or just taking the photos? Because, after all, photos can't, possess you. Photos. Okay.
Oh, and did Katya's Ascents see anything with 5 hits?
Like I said, the area was drained of mana. It is not completely empty, but it was a ley line. Ley lines possess a great deal of raw mana. And now this area is just like regular Joe Schmo average place. So somebody tapped into that ley line and sucked it dry.
Which, out of character, we now have a pretty good guess who, how, and why.
Well, you don't know the how, but you definitely know the who and the why.
Well, I'm assuming the runes have something with it.
Yeah, no, that is you. Okay, so you know part of the how. Now, you didn't explore all of these caves. Cage would have, however, been able to ascertain and to tell you that basically there are a bunch of dead ends. You know, this is a loop around. There's a dead end there, a dead end there, a really narrow car there, the bat cave there, and a couple of dead ends there and down there. But did any of you want to do anything else, or are you done in these tunnels?
I'm guessing we still haven't found the Blackberry Cat. Or
Oh,
any
absolutely
trace
not.
of it.
No, yeah. Blackberry Cat does not come down into the tunnels.
Blackberry Cat's smarter than we are. Which, to be fair, they think they are anyway.
They know they are.
Well, yes, that is correct. But Bishojo, she, like I said, Orchid's hired her to be bodyguard for the night. Wherever Orchid goes or doesn't go, same goes for Bishojo.
Katya's gonna walk back around the corner.
Yeah, I think Frax would mostly just follow along at this point. He doesn't quite know what to do.
So, Andre, Cage is just leaving then?
Pretty much, if he's told that there's nothing else to do here, they just.
Well,
you
is
know.
anyone saying that in character?
No, Katya's just turning around and walking away. Nothing interesting to her.
She definitely sees those runes as evil.
Well, then,
So she
how
wants to
about
get away from them.
we just do this? And then I'm going to toss a power bolt at it.
Orca says, "Do not touch. Let go. Find the cat. Like, let's go." She motions down the hallway. Orchid, roll a sensing.
He just,
Right. Sorry. Yeah. It's your 8 normally, or +4 if you're actively using it. I'm sorry, Twister. You were saying something.
I was going to say, do you want me to wait for everything else to react first?
What force were you going to be casting your spell at?
Force 4.
So yeah, Orchid, you're not going to be able to notice in time before he has actually channeled the mana. However, you will have the opportunity to counterspell if you have training in that.
I'm guessing Katya
Which you do not. You dedicated all of your training into being a great spellcaster, not a counter speller.
I'm guessing Katya can't either.
You started leaving, right?
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, Bones. Force 4, and your target was one of the stones with the etching on it?
Yep, I want to see what happens. 4 hits.
Okay.
One's done.
One's done. Yeah, okay.
Right now, at least.
Yeah. Roll. Were you doing this with your astral perception on, or were you
Yep.
just casting? Okay, so you had your astral perception on.
Yeah, I want to see if this is going
Then
to.
roll a sensing.
Okay, that's not active, of course, because I'm literally doing something while doing this. 2 hits.
As
what?
with Katya being dual natured, did she hear anything happen from him casting his spell? Because I don't know if he has to mutter anything or if there's an impact that it
At
made.
Force 4, nothing. Force 4 is really weak. So you'd
Yeah.
have to roll like Orchid did in a sensing.
Oh yeah, I also don't have a Gaia's, so I don't have any semantic components.
And it'll be passive, so only 6.
Likewise, you do not detect this. But Bones, your spell seems to have failed. In fact, you feel as though you channeled enough mana, but you're kind of doubting yourself because looking at the stone, no, you didn't hit it hard enough.
Cage, would you mind stepping back for a moment for me?
No, because what if you fall down the fucking hole?
I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh, I know, Bashojo. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna put a hand on Cage's chest and take a couple steps back.
Well,
And
he's
I-
still gonna stand right next to you.
That's fine. He also took a step back. And then I'm going to cast it at Force 6. Because anything above that is physical and potentially dangerous. But also, I'm going to cast Manibolt instead of Parabolt. Additional 3 points of drain. That hurts.
That's 3 stun, was it?
Correct.
Okay, so you're at a -1 now. Congratulations.
What are you people doing? Are you attacking the darkness?
Well, you have your dogs. Why don't you go ahead and roll Deimos's sensing, Thrax?
And I know Katya doesn't see anything.
No, actually, Katya sees one of the bats is fluttering around inside the cave, and its aura tells you it's very healthy and good to eat.
Hunting. I'm gonna try and
Orchid-
sneak up on it.
Orchid, roll another sensing as well for yourself. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, Orchid, this time you definitely realize Bones just cast a destructive mana spell onto the rune rock, and the rune absorbed all of the mana and is powering up.
There we go. You know what? I wanted to be a cause of a problem, so like now I'm part of the group officially.
You dick. You fucking double dick.
What, you don't think Prodigy has caused enough?
Not really. Not
Well,
like
he's exacerbated enough?
he's exacerbated, but he's not. He's been exonerated at the same time. So, I just wanted to be the one to be the little shit this time.
Frax hasn't caused that many problems yet.
So basically, you're suggesting that Thrax has much higher goals for a number of problems that he will cause.
I wanted to have a
Eventually,
problem
yes.
causer. Lord Almighty.
To be fair, Orchid, you didn't tell anybody.
Bones, what are you doing?
Well, break.
Why do you keep hitting it then?
Because it
Oh.
won't
Oh, sorry.
break.
Orchid says, okay, so if you want to stay here and die, that's on you. You're an idiot. Totally an idiot. Why don't you stay here and fix this mess you just made? And she would stammer to Bones and quickly make a hasty reverse advance down the path they came. Bishojo, you probably want to follow the one who hired you.
Yep.
Bones, go ahead and do another sensing roll of your own. Bearing in mind you're at a -1 now for the stun damage
Yep.
you've given
Okay.
yourself.
I'm gonna make a common sense roll to determine which side Thrax stays with.
You actually, yeah, you've reactivated the runes on that rock.
Do I tell what kind of energy they're transmitting?
Mana.
Gotcha. But they don't have a positive or negative one like you'd feel off of a person?
Not natural mana. Something wrong mana.
The fuck are you doing with my mana?
Well, that's just it. Definitely the mana you channeled into that rock is not the mana that's currently radiating from that rock.
I see. This is directly where the ley line would transfer pass through, isn't it?
Correct, yes. The ley line goes through this area. This tunnel, in fact.
Okay. Well, now my question is... oh, do I want to be that guy? Yeah. If we destroy this ley line, if we destroy this, will the ley line continue to pass through just fine? Is this sucking up all the ley line energies? Will everything be fine again if we destroy this? Maybe. Let me roll composure.
Roll your magical theory.
That works.
I am not in business of magical experimenting too much, so I think I'm just going to follow this one.
So, Bones, you feel you don't know enough about this magic tradition. The medical professional in you probably has a scientific urge. Is that correct?
A bit.
Yeah. What's your logic?
Logic is 5.
Yeah, you want to solve this mystery. You're going to feel compelled to take that glowing rock with you.
This is the point where Cage is gonna attempt to restrain him and start leaving.
We'll start climbing down the hole.
No.
Why don't you roll composure? Bones?
Okay. And this is with a -1. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's affected. Oh, it's not with a -1 because these are
No, it
just
is.
straight.
Chummer doesn't detect it, but it's supposed to.
Fine.
The only things that aren't affected are resistance rolls.
Yeah, 3 hits.
You have enough presence of mind to know this is a bad idea, so it's your decision. Do you want to make a bad idea?
Oof. That's a tough question. Fine. No, I won't. Fine, we can go. About that grenade you had. So we know this is a bad rock. We know this is a very bad rock. Can we break the rock so we don't have to worry about the bad rock? Guys? Oh, they're already gone. Cage, what's the way out of here?
I'm just gonna pick him up and carry him like an idiot. And
I can walk.
no,
Cage,
no.
you want to put me down?
No.
Roll opposed leadership. Put me down.
no.
Don't make me cast influence on you. I'm not your child. And
Do you
also,
have influence?
I do have influence.
Oh, shit.
I have influence by natural armor, improved invisibility, stabilize and increase reflexes, body, charisma as increased attributes, heal, combat sense, stun bolt, power bolt, and mana bolt. I came prepared.
I'm gonna pull
How
this out of
is
my
that even
bag.
possible? I didn't think you could start with that many spells.
Because I do a hybrid build, BP and Karma.
Okay, lovely.
I'm gonna pull this out of my bag, and it's like, didn't Street tell you to stop making stupid decisions? And he's gonna keep walking with them in his arms.
Ooh, shut up! And then he's gonna stop fighting back. Tell anybody else you.
I'm not gonna tell anyone. Just
Cross
stop
his
acting
arms.
like an idiot.
Looks ahead. Turns off his fucking flashlight.
So basically, Cage pulled out nuke, but it worked.
All right, so I'm moving you all down here, and I want you to arrange yourselves in the order you'd be exiting the tunnel.
I got long legs.
I just started walking out first.
And Misojo would be kind of like a half step in front of her, in front of Orchid.
Cage, are you still carrying Bones at this point, or have you put him down?
Oh no, he's still holding him until we're getting out of the cave.
Okay, so keep that in mind for next week, that Cage is literally carrying Bones. I am going to call it a night here because I only got like 3 broken hours of sleep last night, and I'm surprised I haven't fallen unconscious, other than when I was on the toilet earlier. Not that any of you needed to know that, but now
That's
you
fine.
do.
I have a cold on this end as well, so I'm also tired and feeling a bit weak.
Yeah, and we should have a Bobob back, and we'll say that Okami was just kind of doing Overwatch up on the surface. You know, that makes sense, right? All of you went down into the cave. She was staying on the surface just in case police came by or something.
Plus, it's Okami, so she was probably like, I'm not going to get my kimono dirty by climbing in some cave.
And since I am not here next week, someone else may play Frax for me.
Who do you declare?
I don't know who's there, but
I will try to get a hold of Angela to see if I can convince her to play as you.
Alright, sure, if you want. Otherwise, I figure either Desperado or Bobob or Hunter are familiar enough with the game mechanics that they can do it.
Yeah, Angela, she's a GM, but she hates Shadowrun. But she didn't realize Shadowrun had magic. She thought it was just depressing cyberpunk.
Which it is also, but
it has dragons and pixies and
Also true.
insane hobgoblins that have dogs that are fire-breathing or cloak into shadows.
And magically telepathically communicate with him.
Yeah, so she might be okay playing as Thrax. Yep. So I will wish you all a very good night, and I'm sorry that this didn't turn out exactly the way I hoped, but I hope you still had some fun and enjoyment, such as watching Cage grab Katya as a tiger and Bones as an idiot.
Hey, that's not necessary. Maybe it was a little bit.
Yeah, like casting 2 destructive mana spells on a rock that
And then he was going to
summoned
ask Pashojo if she could just give him a grenade.
Well, see, the grenade might have worked, because the
Yeah.
grenade's not magical.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
you can ask,
Katya
she will
does-
probably say no.
Katya does still have that bat in her mouth.
Yes, but is it in her mouth, or is she just carrying it in her mouth?
She's carrying it in her mouth.
Anyways, I'm going to log. So good night, everyone, and yeah, see you in 2 weeks probably.